Welcome to the Rusted Garden. Today I wanted to show you a recipe for making heirloom tomato, olive oil and vinegar salad dressing. It's a basic recipe that you can add to it to taste, but I want to show you an outstanding heirloom tomato dressing. The first thing you want to do is get some garlic. If you don't like garlic, you can certainly skip this step, but you want to take about a half a clove, which I already chopped up to save time. And this is a half a teaspoon. Let me just dump out some of that water. Put a half a teaspoon of garlic in. The next thing you want to do, let me leave that there, is add salt to the garlic. The salt will pull out the garlic liquid. It will help with the flavor of the garden. You can do, I'm not going to try putting it in there, but you can do a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt to taste. And I can tell that's normally what I do. That's about half a teaspoon. Just mix the garlic up into that, and while you work on the other parts, let the salt pull the flavor out of the garlic. The next thing is you want heirloom tomatoes. This is a black Krim that I just picked today. This is a small brandy wine. These are black plums, and these are mixes of different cherries. The cherries I'm going to put right into the salad. And, you know, just cut them in half or whatever size you prefer in your salad. Whoop, lost one. They're good to go in the salad. And then you want to take the tops off your heirloom. And one thing that I like about the black Krim is the coloration. It's a dark purple with green shoulders. The green cuts through there. The green is in the gel. And it's a very tasty tomato too to begin with. And just cut it up into cubes. And I'm going to do the same for the rest of the tomatoes, and I'll be right back. I chopped up the tomatoes. It's about a cup of tomatoes, diced up. You don't have to make them too small. The other thing that you can add is basil if you like that. This is standard large leaf basil, which is starting to flower. And really I wanted to chop this up before I chopped up the tomatoes, and I should have put that in there with the garlic so the salt had a little more time to even pull out the flavor of the garlic. But just bunch it together. Chop it up to the size you like. And again, you can omit the basil if you don't like that. And this is from my garden. There's also a video on how to grow different types of basil. Sometimes when you go to the garden shops, all they have is the standard large leaf green, but you can buy seeds of at least a dozen different basils. I moved the garlic into the bigger measuring cup too. So mix that in there with the salt. Let the salt draw the flavors out of the garlic. You also want to put in some pepper. You can put in a quarter of a teaspoon to a half a teaspoon, depending on how spicy you like it. And that's going to draw flavors out for your dressing. I use about a quarter cup of olive oil. And actually, before I do that, you want to add the tomatoes and mix them in too. And you want the salt to draw the liquid out of the tomato, because this is your dressing. You want all the flavors that come out in liquid, as much liquid as possible, so that when you put it on your lettuce is coated with your dressing flavors. And you can see as I stir it, it starts getting a lot more liquid in there. And you could let this, you know, sit maybe 10 minutes and just let the flavors of the tomatoes get drawn out. I like using the heirlooms because the colors look great. A quarter cup of oil. Mix that in. And the flavors are all starting to blend together nicely. And then I use red wine vinegar. I think it's the best balance of acid. And again, you want about a quarter cup of the red wine vinegar. And this you can do to taste. This is just a basic olive oil and red vinegar heirloom tomato dressing. You could put in some chopped onions if you want. You could put in onion powder, but this provides a really nice base. The other thing you could add to this if you want is if you had jalapenos or peppers, you could chop the peppers up and put them in there. And this is your basic dressing. You would just let this sit for about a half an hour. Get your salad. A thicker lettuce like romaine is better for this type of dressing because it holds better. These are tomatoes from the garden, some of the heirlooms that I didn't use. The lettuce unfortunately is from the store. It's hot here so I can't grow anything. Can't grow lettuce now, but you just pour the dressing obviously over the salad. And that's your basic olive oil and vinegar heirloom tomato dressing. This is my first recipe. I plan to do hopefully 15 to 20 recipes this year using vegetables out of the garden. If you enjoyed this video, please check out my blog at www.therustedgarden.blogspot.com or check out my YouTube channel for more recipes and more videos on gardening. Thank you.